What's up YouTube, Pokémon here and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, I want to talk about the current market conditions and compare them to what happened back in 2021 when the Pokemon market crashed after the massive boom from COVID, Logan Paul and all that crazy stuff that happened. So there are actually a lot of similarities we can draw between what's happening now to what happened back then. And I think the key takeaway from this video is I want to help you to understand and to navigate through this period and save you some heartache and save you some trauma from a potential crash that will inevitably happen in the future, and kind of make a prediction on when that might happen and why that might happen, and give you guys relevant information you need to, be prepared for it and approach that with a smart and clear mind so that you know what's going to happen when the crash inevitably does happen. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Yes, people. As you may or may not know, I am giving a 151 booster bundle away on this channel absolutely free once it reaches 1,000 subscribers. It's super easy to enter. All you have to do is, of course, 1, be subscribed, and then 2, drop a like and a comment on this video right here. Now, it has to be this video because I'll be using a random comment picker to pick a comment from this video to be the winner. So make sure you don't miss out and get involved. Okay, so I'm doing this video today as I was inspired to do it based on the information around the reprints for Prismatic Evolutions. Now, obviously, I spoke about this in a previous video, and I'm sure you've seen it all over YouTube. Lots of people talking about these reprints. Now, of course, stated that they'll only be at GameStop for now, but I do have a strong feeling that the reprints for Prismatic Evolutions, for Surging Sparks, for all these sets, all the recent sets, will come in full force and will come strong. The most important thing to note, first of all, is that the Pokemon Company seemed to work, as I understand it, on an 8-month cycle. So when they plan to release a set, they start printing that 8 months in advance. Now, we're not even past 8 months since before the boom. So any product such as Journey Together, even maybe Destined Rivals just on the cusp, would not have been printed to the capacity of what the market is now, because the market simply wasn't at that state. 8 months ago, the market was quite calm. It was, you could buy stuff. I think that was October time. And it was kind of just before the boom had happened. So the Pokemon Company hadn't started printing to meet the demand of the market. Now, I'm sure now that they are, right? So any product they print now, they will print much, much, much more, okay? So what's going to happen is, in 8 months since they started the printing, which let's say is January, by August, we're going to see a massive, massive flood of a lot of product. And what's going to happen is that it's going to cause a massive, massive decrease in the market, because there'll be so much product everyone can get their hands on, and people will want to sell, and prices will just start to go down and down and down and down. I think what's going to happen is that the Pokemon Company is going to print a lot of products such as Prismatic Evolutions, Surging Sparks, Destined Rivals, Journey Together, all the sets that are coming out right now to a massive, massive capacity, and I think that's going to crash the market. I think people are underestimating the actual print power that the Pokemon Company has. I think it's a massive, massive, massive amount they can do. There's a big hiatus on printing from other TCG companies, so the Pokemon Company can use the printing facilities to the full capacity, and we are going to see a massive, massive influx of product, and that is going to help prices start to come down. Now, I've rambled on a bit here, but I want to kind of draw comparisons, side-by-side comparisons between the 2019, 2020 boom and the the boom now, right? So I've done a shitty little sketch that I kind of stole from the Poke Vault, because he did a video 3 years ago talking about the crash, and it was kind of this graph he drew. So full credit to Poke Vault for this graph. I've nicked it off him, so I don't want to take credit. But let's have a little look about what happened way back when the first boom happened in 2019 or 2016. It started in 2016, kind of, but here in 2016, we can see, I can't see my mouse, we saw that Pokemon Go was released, a brand new app that was, got everyone out the house. Pokemon Go was crazy. It was mad. We've all seen the videos. We know how big of an app it was and how much it impacted the Pokemon community. It was massive. And from then, we start to see a snowball effect where, people were interested in Pokemon again. People collected cards. but it wasn't to the degree of what it is, like what it was going to be, right? So 2016, there was a lot more interest, but it wasn't to the point where the cards just went absolutely parabolic. There was more interest, but cards were still affordable. People could buy cards. There was lots of stock, lots of product, and everyone had access to the cards. But then COVID happened. Okay, so COVID hit around 2019 to 2020, around here to here, and everyone was inside. Everyone was inside. People were locked up. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't go outside. So they started collecting Pokemon cards, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, up until the point where Logan Paul did that famous first edition base set stream, and it all just went crazy. Prices for vintage went mad. Everything went up, and we got to this point here where it just peaked at everything was so inflated. Like back here, base set booster boxes were like 2K, around £2,000, and up here they were like in the multiple hundreds of thousands of pounds, right? And yeah, everything just went absolutely crazy, and we saw this peak, and it lasted for a little while. It lasted for a year, and then as the 25th anniversary came, the market started to correct itself. Okay, so there was a lot of product getting printed, a lot of new product getting printed. People weren't buying as much, and we started to see a little bit of a correction around the 25th anniversary product. And the 25th anniversary was, when it came out, it was like, oh, okay, here's actually quite a cool set. So interest started to peak again, and then we sort of saw this sideways movement here, where we'd see this as a market correction. It wouldn't be a crash; it was a market correction because there was another new set that came out. The 25th anniversary came out. And then after that kind of died down, we just saw this massive, massive, massive downturn where product was getting printed, no one was buying, there was so much product to be sold, and it was flooding the market, and the prices just kept going down and down and down and down and down and down. And that's kind of, in a nutshell, what happened between 2016 and 2021, 2022. So let's have a look at what's happening now. So you can really actually kind of draw a side-by-side comparison in what's happening now. So the first thing is the app. So 2016, we had Pokemon Go. 2024, we got Pokemon TCG Pocket, which not only is a bigger app than what Pokemon Go is, or Pokemon Go was, it's got much more downloads, breaking records, all over the place, but it is a TCG related product. So people are ripping packs virtually and thinking, hold on a sec, I want to get some real cards. And it's just had this, again, massive, massive snowball effect. And we can see it happening and take place right before our very eyes. And now I've drawn a graph similar to what the previous graph was. So we've got here, I can't find my mouse again. There we go. 2024, we have PTCG Pocket release and the desire for Pokemon cards going up and up and up and up, kind of eclipsing where Prismatic Evolutions was released. So we've got old and new people entering the hobby through the app. We've got an Evolution set being released, which everyone knows Eevee, everyone loves Eevee, male, female, young, old, whatever. That's an iconic Pokemon with an iconic set, and we're seeing these go off the shelves. Everyone wants it. The FOMO is going crazy. Just like what Logan Paul created with the vintage cards, Prismatic Evolutions has created with the modern cards. It's a side-by-side comparison that I think you can draw, parallels to. So this red line here, what I've drawn, is what could potentially happen. Next year, we had 30th anniversary coming out. Just like before, we had 25th anniversary come out, and there was sort of a correction and a little peak of interest where the 30th anniversary came out or 25th anniversary came out before. We're seeing the exact same thing. And then, potentially, again, the massive crash comes. Now, let's actually take a look at what I wanted to show you. I can't find my mouse again. This is really annoying. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm drawing the comparison right now. We can see a lot of similarities between what happened before and what's happening now, the exact same way. But if we actually look, so I wanted to show you, so this is Vivid Voltage. Now, this website, it's not the best. I can't really figure out what these numbers mean exactly. And also Vivid Voltage was released in 2020, so we haven't got the full life cycle of this product. But Vivid Voltage came out in 2020. It had this rainbow Pikachu that everyone was going mental for, and booster boxes back then were going for £190, £200 per booster box with Vivid Voltage. Everyone was saying this is the most amazing set. It's got this Pikachu. Prices were through the roof. No one had any inkling that this product would crash or no one would want it anymore because the confidence was so high. Everyone believed in the product, everyone believed in the cards, everyone believed in the set. But just a year later, the product crashes to nearly nothing. Everyone says, oh, the set was shit, no one liked the set. It's easy to tell the set was shit now, but back then everyone thought it was great. It's the same thing with something like, I don't know, Destined Rivals or any of these modern sets. Everyone's so confident right now, but there's every reason to suggest that the market can change. And I think it's really important to be aware that the market can shift. And if the Pokemon company prints enough, and if all it takes is one, the Pokemon company to print enough product, or two, there to be a really, really dreadful set, people just don't want it, scalpers start losing money, they're not confident in their product, they start selling it, fire sale, everyone undercuts each other, and we see a massive, massive price deduction in the market. The same thing for Shining Fates. Now, I'm sure you've heard about Shining Fates. This was available all on the Pokemon Center up until like last month, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks ago. You could get it. It was released in 2021, available for 4 years, never been taken off the Pokemon Center until now. But again, we can't see before, but the prices were, £100 an ETB, £110 an ETB at the most. And they crashed all the way back down to 45, 37, 38. And it can happen. It's the same thing for Battle Styles. Battle Styles came out at the peak of this. Everyone wanted the Sword and Shield set. And again, it just crashed down to zero. And that's kind of, these crashes here, if you draw a side-by-side comparison to what happened before, that's all coming around this area here, okay? So we had the massive, massive peak. The prices were sky high. Eventually, Pokemon Company caught up with printing. They printed so much of the set, and the prices came crashing down. Now, why is this important? Well, if we look at modern sets, right, we can draw a side-by-side comparison with what happened 5 years ago to what might happen now. We've got 151, okay? A year ago, it was a $45, $55 ETB. During the boom, it's risen and risen and risen and risen and risen to a peak of $207 for an ETB. Now, this channel is a UK-focused channel, so I'd like to do things in pounds and pence, but TCG Player has the best price charting data. I like it for the UI, and it's not about the price, it's about the graph. So just bear that in mind. Now, again, if we come back to my shitty drawn graph, we saw a massive, 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 massive increase, and then a small correction and some sideways movement like this, okay? What are we seeing now? We're seeing a massive, massive, massive increase, and in the last 3 months, sideways movement. In the last 1 month, sideways movement. We're seeing a direct parallel between the graph from before to what is happening now. We can even look at Evolving Skies. A massive, massive, massive price hike and sideways movement. What does that suggest? Well, it could mean that the exact same thing that happened 5 years ago, 4 years ago, is happening now. We had the top of the boom, the top of the bubble has been hit, which is right here in January. And then we're starting to see some sideways movement. And we could potentially see this start to dwindle off. Now, it might be a lot slower than what happened before because we have got Destined Rivals. The market is stronger than it was 5 years ago. And the growth is more organic than just COVID, Logan Paul. It's a lot more organic. But it doesn't mean that the same thing that happened 5 years ago won't happen again. We can even look at a non-popular set. So I've looked at 2 of the most popular sets in history, but the same thing's happening for Scarlet and Violet base. We're seeing a massive, massive price increase and sideways movement in the last 3 months, in the last 1 month. It's the exact same parallels we're drawing between 5 years ago and today. And with that being said, there is every reason, every opportunity that we might start to see a little bit of a correction right now and then a massive crash afterwards. We're already starting to see it with some products now. If we look at Journey Together, the latest set, which everyone was hyped for, it's the first core set that came out after Surging Sparks, and Surging Sparks kind of just missed the boom. So we'll call this the next core set after the boom. Look at what's going on with the ETB. It's crashing down. Look what's going on with the Clefairy and the singles, crashing down. Now, I think Journey Together, we should take it with a bit of a pinch of salt because, first of all, I don't think the set's that good, and I think people kind of caught on to that a little bit. And I think there may be a lot of people waiting for Destined Rivals to come out and saving their money for then. But in that time that people are waiting, there will be a lot more product coming to the market. There will be a lot of printing done by the Pokemon Company. I'm sure of it, I know it, and I'm confident that there will be a massive, massive, massive downturn in the market. If it's not this year, it will be after the 30th anniversary. That's my prediction. I want to preface by saying this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy anything or do anything. Do your own research, but I'm just presenting to you the facts of what I can see and what I can predict might happen. And I want to share this information because right now there's a lot of people that are so confident in the market and they believe in Pokemon. And yes, the market is strong, but these booms, they don't last forever. There has to be, what goes up must come down, and it will eventually come down. And what I want to kind of tell you today is that be prepared for a downturn in the market. For me, I know that I've got the long-term mindset. So I'm buying everything I can at MSRP. And if the market crashes and it goes below MSRP, I'm not phased, because I see that in 5 to 10 to 15 years, Prismatic Evolutions will be a $400-500 pound ETB. I know that Surging Sparks will be a £500, £600, £700 booster box. I know that all of my Sword and Shield investments will go to that to £1,000, £1,500. I'm confident in that. So if the market crashes for 2, 3, 4 years, I'm okay with that, because I'm not trying to sell within 2, 3, 4 years. I'm trying to sell within 10, 15, 20 years, whenever the next boom happens. And if you are in this hobby right now as a scalper, as a flipper, as someone trying to make a quick buck, I'm telling you, you will get stung. Eventually you will get stung. Right now everything's fine, everything's confident, but be fearful when greed is high. I'm telling you. And I just want to kind of give off that warning so that you're aware that there will be a time in this hobby where you will lose a lot of money and you will be down. And if you're making purchases based on the fact that you want to sell the market when it's high and you get stung, just be aware of that, okay? That's the main thing. So finally, I want to talk about how we can combat and maybe get the market in a better place already. Now, the first thing I would say is don't let the scalpers win. Don't let the scalpers win. You don't need to be buying at these inflated prices. The prices will eventually come down. Product will be available on the market. Right now, it might not seem like it's possible to get product and you have to pay these secondary market prices, but there's always going to be another set. There's always going to be a new product, and this won't last forever. The bubbles don't last forever. So don't let the scalpers win. Please don't pay the inflated prices. If we as a community agree to say no to the scalpers and don't buy these secondary market prices and just wait and be patient, then they're going to eventually have to bring their prices down and they're going to stop buying product, and there'll be more product available for the collectors, the players, and the investors. So that's the first thing. Second one is be patient. Again, like I said, be patient. Don't FOMO. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype and in the market and thinking that if you don't buy these products now, you're never going to get a chance to get them. It's not true. It's not true. You know, I could have said in 2021 when Vivid Voltage came out and it was being bought out and Shining Fakes was being bought out, I'm never going to get a chance to buy this product. I have to buy it now. And if I bought it at £100, I mean, it was on the Pokemon Center for 4 years after that. Like, even now, when it's even bigger and you can say, oh, these sets are even better than what they were before, the market didn't think that before. The market thought these were the greatest sets of all time, the best thing since sliced bread, and all of a sudden there's so much on the market and it's just able to buy everywhere and everyone losing money. So just be aware of that. Again, be prepared for anything to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the Pokemon companies are capable of. We don't know how long the market's going to last, how well they're going to print things, what's going to come. And I just think you need to be really prepared for that and just understand that at any point the market could crash, and make sure you're prepared for that. Make sure you're not over leveraged. Make sure you're not undercapitalized. If you think that if a market crash you're going to be in financial trouble, sell some stuff now and get out of the game and refocus your strategy, because you will get stung. And again, like I said, bubbles don't last forever. So be aware of this, and I think just prepare for this thing to happen eventually. Like I said, I think it will happen in 2026. I think it will happen after 30th anniversary. I think we'll see a massive downtrend. I think we've already seen the peak of the graph. Like I said, we're seeing it. I'm seeing it firsthand on these graphs here. I can see, we're hitting the peak and we're seeing sideways movement. We're hitting the peak and we're seeing sideways movement. We're hitting the peak and we're seeing sideways movement on every single set. Evolving Skies, 151, Scarlet or Violet base. It doesn't matter. We're starting to see parallels form, and I think we can use this to inform our decisions and make smart plays. So that's all I have for today, guys. I really, really wanted to make this video to kind of warn people in the market, the people who deserve to be warned. I don't want people to lose money. I don't want people to go bankrupt. I don't want people to get stung. I want people to be aware that this this won't last forever, and that please try and make the relevant moves to secure yourself for a potential crash and not to, to go broke. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please drop a like and a comment. Let me know if you agree with what I say. Let me know if you have any thoughts and feelings about this, and what your plans are to do if this is you and you think that you could get stung by a crash. Let me know. Give me a shout. I can give you some ideas and give you some tips. Don't forget to join the Discord. Again, we have a lot of conversations, and you can message me directly, ask anything you want, and I'll be happy to answer. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.